It's now finally here. Cox Plate time. The contenders, the pretenders. We tell you who can win and why, who can't win and why, runner by runner. Okay, just like all of these races, I'm going to take you through a couple of quick statistics. 11 of the last 24 winners were the race favourite. 62 of the past 84 winners have been from inside Barrier 7. Only one winner in the last 14 has finished outside the placings in their final lead-up run. 7 of the last 14 winners have been 4 years old. So if you're an Aeliana backer, you're going to love to hear that, or a Treasure of the Moment backer. And then 16 of the last 27 winners have been male horses. But we know in recent times, with the Via Sistinas and the Winxes of the world running around, it is no longer just a male horses game. That is for sure. Okay. Should we go through the field first or the speed map, mate?
We'll go through the field first.
Take us through, mate.
All right, straight away, you've got Light Infantry Man, you've got Antino, you've got Attrition, you've got Buckaroo, Globe, Via Sistina, Treasure at the Moment, Aeliana, and Nepotism. Graphics, well done, mate. Looks good. Face value, when you look at this, barriers, who do you think is drawn unlucky? Anything that you really see?
Look, I think that from those barrier, Aeliana is unlucky because, as we'll touch on the speed map in a second, we'll have to go all the way to the back, you'd think. Via Sistina, prime draw for Via Sistina, you'd have to think. Can do whatever she wants from that barrier, and it should be pushing up and just setting off the pace, kind of like her run last year, you would have to think.
Yeah. While we're still on this, and we'll have a chat about it in the speed map. So.
What about the field, though? What do you think of the field in general? Do you think a lot of people have been debating, is it a good field, is it a bad field? What do you think?
It's probably one or two horses being pretty good. I think the bottom half is pretty bad, which you could imagine. Some horses there that probably aren't in the best of form, so Delius in there probably helps as well. But yeah, probably missing just a little bit.
I think the main issue is that these horses haven't been winning in the lead-up. If Treasure of the Moment, Via Sistina, and Aeliana, the three big girls headed into this sort of time period that everyone was hyped for, had been coming out and winning every start like they were expected to do, there'd be much more hype around this race. Now everyone's like, oh, it's such a shit field. Like, oh, Sir Delius would have pissed in. Like, let's not forget, Via Sistina won this race by how much last year? Broke the track record? Like, it was nuts. Like,
it's one of Cash's favourites, guys. Don't get him started.
But I mean, like, Via Sistina is still a good enough favourite as there's ever been in a race like this. Treasure, if she bounces out of it, is still one of the best horses in the country. Aeliana, I know, hasn't come up much this prep. On paper, is still one of the best horses in the country. Antino's starting to become one of the best horses in the country. I mean, yes, it's lacking a Sir Delius. Yes, it's lacking, some people really wanted Autumn Glow to go, but that was just never happening according to a Chris Waller. So maybe he is lacking one or two horses that are actually in form. But on paper, I think this is still a really good field.
Fair enough. All right, mate. I'm going to take us through the speed map, mate. You can talk us through it.
Yeah, so we've got Light Infantry Man and Globe as your likely leaders there. Globe is under a bit of a injury cloud, though. Potentially going to scratch.
It's all right.
It's okay. Potentially going to scratch Globe there, but the trainers have come out and said that he is all okay and should pass that vet check. Treasure of the Moment, Via Sistina should sit just behind them. Attrition and Buckaroo should sit just behind them. And then your back markers should probably be your Nepotism in case the Hawks camp wants to send him forward instead. And then Antino and Aeliana are going to be making their runs from the back. You'd think that Antino will be the first horse to make that run and say, okay, game time. And then all of the other horses will know that's the time to really lock in and start going, going for broke around the corner there. So shall we go through the field runner by runner now?
Yep.
Take us through Light Infantry Man, mate.
Light Infantry Man, first one. For me, look, pretender. Not going to win in my eyes. Can run in the exotics at the best chance. Just hasn't looked where it needed to be. One of the bottom half in this field for sure.
Had a surprisingly really great autumn, but just has not come back at all this spring. Needs to jump well to be able to get up on that speed position that he's predicted to have. Otherwise, it's game over. simply not going well enough to be considered a winning chance. He is $46 for a reason.
We'll move straight into the next one,
Number
mate.
2, mate, Antino.
Antino. So, look, definitely a contender. I must say, sorry, I didn't say this before. If this race turns out how the last couple of runs for Via Sistina's turned out, for the last couple of runs that Treasure at the Moment has had, where there's no pace in the race and it becomes a sprint at the end, obviously you're going to see Antino has that turn of foot that can probably get it done. Globe can go out and win again like did last start. I hope it's not that kind of race, because those have been shit races to watch.
100%. I hate a sit-in sprint.
So we need to, hopefully something needs to happen and someone needs to get up there and lead the way and get some speed into the race. Because, yeah, geez, that was annoying.
If it's a sit-in sprint, it's Antino's to lose. It'd be very much like that. I feel like it was the 2-rack that it won when Blake was like, all right, we're not going to run here. Okay, I'll run, and then just smash them.
Yeah, went around all of them.
You know,
it was a great run that day.
That is the big danger. I didn't have this horse like much of a chance going in the spring. I didn't think it was going to be a big weight for age star. A few months ago, I even put up a post saying he had no hope of placing in a race like this, and now I have him as a genuine winning chance at $4.
For sure.
Turnbull form produced the Caulfield Cup winner, half yours. Arguably, he had the best run in that race behind Sir Delius. Shin, like I said, will likely be the first one to press the button and say, let's go. So he could definitely steal it from them, especially if no one's going that hard up front. Do I have him on top? No, I don't. But can he win? Absolutely.
Fair enough. All right, we'll move to our next one, mate. Attrition.
Yes, $35 to win, $6.25 to place. Craig Williams jumps on board after the Delius scratching. What are your thoughts?
Look, ran home really nicely behind Lindemann last start, and I had a nice cheeky Quinella on.
You did.
Probably not the worst chance, honestly, and is always thereabouts and is running pretty well at the moment. I think one that you can definitely keep in your exotics. Don't think he can win.
Yeah, basically the same. Like, because, you can make a case for him technically since he likes the track. Hasn't had the worst form by any means, like behind the Lindemans, behind some other really good horses. But I just think he gets outclassed here for a win. Running the fan was really nice, but the race was already over before he got going. And then the run behind Lindemann did have merit. Chuck him in your first fours. He could come home and run a fourth, but can you really picture him beating the likes of Via Sistina and the others? No. So, yeah, definitely chuck him in your first fours, but I don't think he'll be winning.
Buckaroo. Look, I'm going to go straight off and say pretender. 9 runs at the distance, no wins, and 5 in the minor placings. 2 in the second place, 3 in the third place. Just, yeah, I don't see him winning. Place at best. Another horse that I just don't think is gonna go well in this race. Mark Zara, not very popular in the mock sports at the moment. But yeah, pretender for me.
Yeah, $16 to win, $3.30 to place. He's a consistent horse, I'll give him that. And as such, a placing here wouldn't shock me. Can't see him winning. His form with Sir Delius is a great look here on paper, considering he almost beat him. But then that second up run in the Might and Power Stakes was just so poor. Didn't pick up at all. Got out-tacticked. And honestly, even without pace, he should have been going much closer to the finish there and going past Globe, even with the whole tactical speed fast that happened in that race. He should not have been beaten that convincingly by Globe. You'd have to think he could just run a really nice Melbourne Cup trial here without threatening to win too much. Again, chuck him in your first fours. That's probably his best ceiling here. As we move to number 5, Globe. Like I said, injury cloud for the Price and Kent team, but they assure us that he'll pass that test with flying colours. Out of barrier 7, $15 to win, $3.10 to place.
Contender, I think.
Really?
Yeah, if he can get it exact same run, if they're going to let him sit and control it, he can win. So saw it the other week and he can do it again. He's going to be one of my better roughy chances for sure.
Yeah, wow. I've got him as a pretender. I mean, he has the racing pattern to be in the finish. Up on pace, he can fall into the placings. Happened to many a horse in a race like this. I will die on that hill. Come at me, TikTok. Mr. Brightside fell into those placings the year that he placed behind Romantic Warrior. Don't at me, okay?
Oh.
Got up on pace and fell into the placing. So it can happen. But, I mean, he can certainly look dangerous for a long way, but I would be shocked to see him win. I do think he fades going around that bend.
Fair enough. VR Sistina, mate.
Yes, here we go. Chris Waller, J-Mac, barrier 5, weight 57 kilos, $2.25 to win, contender or pretender. The firm favourite for this race now that there's no Sir Delius.
Contender. Anyone that doesn't say is kidding themselves. At her best, she wins. Hasn't been at her best this prep, which is, I guess, the big thing for a lot of people. Has that heavy run first up really taken some stuff out of her? I guess we'll have to wait and see. Do they let her run 5 laps before today or tomorrow?
That was pretty funny. Like when she went around at Breakfast with the Best, like everyone, when she got off, everyone was like, now let me see her go around without a jockey for a few laps now. Like, when's that part of the morning coming?
But yeah, can get it done. Should get it done. Let's wait and see.
Do you reckon, like, away from the cameras, Waller's just gone like, yeah, just jump off and just let her run. Like, let's do what we did last year.
Probably not. Surely not.
No, definitely not. Has she been at her best this spring? Far from it. But sometimes winners win. We like to say it on the pod here. And the big-time players stand up on the big stage. J-Mac is a big-time player. Waller is a big-time player. And Sistina is a big-time player. Sometimes when you just get to grand final day, the winners know how to win. If any of them overdo it in front, she will be the one that is swooping with the most pace. Only missed the placings twice at this distance. Only missed the placings once at Group 1 level. Arguably does her best work when 4th up, ready to peak on grand final day. A better tempo is all she needs. She gets it, she wins. She doesn't, she's in trouble. Plain and simple.
Awesome. We'll move to Treasure the
Yes,
Moment.
the other Yulong horse, mate, at a barrier 1.
Contender for me. She's been unlucky. I think she hasn't been at her best either. She's got a nice price on her now that is gettable for sure. I think she can win. I think the 2 that she's lost, she's been taken out of the race by the pace of the race, and I just don't think it's going to go in that direction for Cox Plate Day. They're not going to let it happen. It's the biggest race on the calendar year for sure. So they're going to all be running with their heads switched on, all the jockeys, and she's going to be there. So $6, definitely a contender.
Cashy Hate Watch is going to go into overdrive here. I'm going with Pretender.
Wow.
Never missed the Quinella in her 14 starts, which is unreal form. I'll give her that. Looked a world beater first up in the Memsey when she came out and pulled their pants down and looked like she was going to be a top Cox Plate chance. But then Colic came to town. Hasn't been the same since, really, in my opinion. Fee and Run was all right first up after the attack. And then her Might and Power run was, again, like Buckaroo, really disappointing. Even with the lack of pace, should have been finishing much closer to a Globe, if not going right past him. Loomed to win and then just did nothing. If she can be at her best, she can be a really strong winning chance, but quite frankly, her form this spring hints that she isn't. So I'm saying place chance only, and in the words of the Mock Sports, like some people just don't really understand our language here. If we think she's a place chance only, not a winning chance, she is a pretender in my mind.
Aeliana, mate. We'll move to the next one.
Yeah, Huey Bowman flies in to ride for the Waller stable here. Barrier 8, $9 to win, $2.25. Chris Waller was saying at Breakfast with the Best, he goes, hey now, like, Huey Bowman knows how to ride my horses in Cox Plates, Winks. And he goes, she's no Winks, but she's not far off it, which is a pretty big call. Contender or pretender for Aeliana?
Contender. Give her a merit. She another one that hasn't been at her best. To say that rinse and repeat at the moment. But yeah, she's a good horse, and I think she can get it done. So she's definitely a chance in my eyes.
Yes, star of the autumn, but just hasn't lived up to the hype on paper. But in reality, she's had excuses every single start. Wet track, no pace, etc., etc. The list of excuses go on. She's been a bit underdone, in my opinion, probably because of that wet track took a bit out of her, and then the no pace in those races has left her with half of a run instead of a full run. She gets the opportunity to peak here, just like Sistina. 4th up, grand final day for a grand final trainer. History says she can't win from that barrier, but history is meant to be broken. Reminds me a lot of Very Elegant, who arguably could have won the 2021 Cox Plate, in my opinion, if she didn't swing too wide on the turn. I think it's a really similar situation here. If Bowman can get her tucked in away at the back there and keep in touch with them, don't let them get too much of a lead on her, and then when she goes around that turn and is able to balance up and run straight, there is no reason she can't run them down. Contender for mine.
Last one, Nepotism.
3-year-old of the field, 49.5 kilos on that back, mate.
Yeah, I'm going Pretender. I can't go everyone Contender, unfortunately. I think the weight definitely helps, but I just don't think he gets it done. He's not the best 3-year-old running around at the moment, and there's better chances that I would have thought should have probably come instead. I think Woderson would have run better than Nepotism would have as well. Do you think?
Now that you mention him, I've got in my notes, he's kind of like Woderson, one of those horses that just has not lived up to the hype, yet punters continue to line up to back him constantly.
Yeah, so Pretender for me, but not the worst if you really like your weight punting, which we have in the past.
Yeah, he gets his feathers on the back like all 3-year-olds do in this race, but this horse hasn't done anything really to suggest he's a Cox Plate contender other than rattling off some nice sectionals in the Guineas, but never really threatened in the finish because you can say that he ran up the backside of a couple of horses, but still, just nothing else this prep has really screamed, hey, I'm going to run really good in a Cox Plate. Like, let's just, again, go through his results quickly here. First up, he comes 9th, 5.5 lengths off Attempted. He then comes 10 lengths off a Bayvuct in the Golden Rose, and then finishes 4.4 lengths off an Autumn Boy in a Caulfield Guineas. Observer would be a red-hot chance in this race, in my opinion, off of that run in the Guineas, which is why I'm very confident on its chances in the race before this, in the Vase. I'm happy to be wrong. Maybe runs a place, but I would be shocked to see him win. I'd be marking him closer to $50. Happy to admit that I got it wrong if I get it wrong, but I see no reason why this horse should ever be considered to be a Cox Plate winning threat off of what he's shown us this prep. Maybe his 2-year-old stuff in the autumn, but this prep, he has not looked like he should be threatening in a Cox Plate.
Yeah, like I said, there's better 3-year-olds running around, so it is what it is. First 4 over the line, mate, and your tip.
My first 4 over the lines via Sistina, Aeliana to run a flashing second, Antino to run 3rd, and then Buckaroo to run 4th as that little tick-over trial for the Melbourne Cup. And
awesome.
And on top is via Sistina. I just think that winners win.
Treasurethemoment for me on top. I've got Antino coming in 2nd. I've got Via coming in 3rd. I've got Attrition running 4th.
I don't mind that. I honestly do not mind that at all.
Box them up.
Yeah,
that's what I'm going for.
Box that, especially with a box. If like an Attrition manages to sneak a 3rd place there, it'll send the value shooting through the roof there.
Sure.
Another nice thing to just quickly touch on before we move on, last race ever to be run at this track before the alterations, which I think is very appropriate that they've moved it to the last of the day. And then they're letting the people go on the track afterwards, take their photos, grab a clump of grass if they want.
You would so do that.
Oh, I'd be so over that. I'd be all over that,
You'd
man.
be eating the grass.
I'd be all over that. I'd be trying to tear down the Moonee Valley winning post and sign and try and take that home. Yeah, I'm sad that I'm not there like we were maybe going to be. Anyone that's going out there on the weekend, please enjoy it. It's a history-making run. It's Flemington next year, and then the year after that we come to a completely different track. It's going to be a completely different race. So hopefully it goes out with a bang. I really don't want a boring sit and sprint in this Cox Plate.